A frantic finish, and the Stanley Cup Final is even at a game apiece. Welcome to NHL Wraparound Stanley Cupdate for Friday, the 5th of June, 2026. Vic and Neil with you, taking you into the weekend, and you had said that you didn't think we were going to see 9 goals like we saw in Game 1. But oddly enough, the way we got to 7 last night was pretty unique.
No, it sure was. Just when you think you've seen everything, you see more of everything. There was 7 goals, 1 in overtime, as we'll get to, 1 that people thought should count that didn't count, and we get a little bit of everything so far.
We sure did, because this was 2-0 midway through the third period. But let's get you there first, because in the first period, I thought Carolina started relatively well. On the first Hurricane power play of the game, Taylor Hall had a good chance that was stopped by Carter Hart, and then he made another save of Logan Stankoven, and then a third save off the blocker on a shot by Shane Gostisbehere. But a scary moment midway through the period when defenseman Braden McNabb took a shot from Nikolai Ehlers about 87 miles an hour directly off the visor, and he did not return.
And the thing is, Vic, is that people should know that didn't see it was off the lower part of the visor, which, although those visors don't break, they push in, and there's no way that he doesn't have at least a broken nose out of that, if not more damage than that. Apparently, he was taken to the hospital in Raleigh. We don't know what happened from there, but we do know that he never returned in the game, and we wait to hear what the prognosis is.
About 3.5 minutes after that, a soft backhand flip from deep in his own zone by Mitch Marner, and he hits Brett Howden, who out-muscles Sean Walker, goes in alone on Freddie Anderson for his 12th of the playoffs to make it 1-0.
As you said, he out-muscled Walker. Walker looked at the referee after he scored like he thought Howden had done something illegal, but this was Howden again having the playoff of his life and has been just fantastic. As you said, that was his 12th of the playoffs.
And he wasn't done. But in the first period, shots were 8-2, attempts 27-8, including 13 missed shots by the Hurricanes. I didn't think Carolina played a bad period, but it almost kind of looked like a microcosm of Game 1, where the Golden Knights kind of took the gut punch and still wound up coming out in good shape.
But this is Carolina hockey as we're seeing it and have been seeing it, is that they jump quick right off the bat at the beginning of games. I mean, they are right on you. But if you can hold the fort and just wait for your chance, you'll get your chance. And although they'll outchance you by far, if you can poke yours in, it won't matter because you'll be ahead. And that's exactly what Vegas did.
Power play early in the second period, 7 seconds after the penalty ends, it's Ivan Barbashev hitting Howden at the blue line, and this time he boxes out Jacob Slavin at 7:23. It's his 13th goal of these playoffs. He had 12 during the course of the entire regular season.
Well, just like I said, he is having the playoff of his life. I mean, you almost want to say to him, videotape every second of your life right now, because you're going to want it to show your grandchildren, because this is a performance that it will always be very hard for him to repeat as his career goes on.
You know, Howden almost had a third goal by outmuscling Jalen Chatfield, and Freddie Anderson had to make a good save. So the power game of Brett Howden clearly showing, because he got 2 goals and almost a third by boxing out 3 different Carolina defensemen.
And not 3 weak defensemen either. Gostisbehere, for example, is a skilled guy, a slim, slender guy, not a big, strong guy. Chatfield and Walker are big men, and he got past those guys. And Jacob Slavin is one of the premier defensemen in the league as far as defensive defensemen, and he was able to outmuscle him too. So what a game he was having at this point.
With 13 minutes left in the third, he outmuscled Chatfield again, and then got the puck to Mitch Marner, who hit iron. And for all intents and purposes, this game would have been over at that point. But then Carolina started to put a little bit of pressure on midway through the third period. Hart had to make a good stop off Jordan Martinook and then on a Jordan Staal deflection. And then a stop that I don't think got enough attention was Dylan Coghlan, who was playing more minutes because McNabb was out. After Hart kind of fell and lost his net, he made a save on AndreMiller.
You're right. That was a important, crucial stop by Coghlan.
So here's where the game flips, and it's on one of the most innocent of plays because Carolina actually loses an offensive zone draw. And for some reason, Rasmus Andersson has the puck behind the net, has Mitch Marner going up the right side, can either flip it out or wire it hard around the boards. And instead, he tries to cut back the other way. He's stripped by Logan Stankoven, who wraps it around. The puck goes in off Jeremy Lauzon, and it's a 2-1 game.
And Rasmus Andersson doesn't make a lot of mistakes like that, but this was a crucial one at a crucial point in the game. And as you said, now it's 2-1 and there's life in the building and people are thinking, here we go.
That goal came with 9:40 left. And then 2:26 later, great effort by William Carrier at the Vegas blue line. He's engaged with Lauzon, stays onside, but manages to get the puck to Mark Jankowski, who goes high glove on Hart. And suddenly we're 2-2.
And as we said earlier, the building is now really erupting because where everybody thought, oh my goodness, if we lose this one, we're down 2-0 going to Vegas. Now all of a sudden there is life and hope in the building.
Now it starts to get fun because with 5 minutes left in regulation, a wraparound attempt by Ivan Barbashev gets stopped, and then he fans on the rebound. The puck ends up under Anderson. Dorofeev comes in for a poke. The puck does go over the goal line, but it is waved off by the official, and the confusion really starts here because the officials say it's goalie interference, and at that point, there's a challenge by John Tortorella to get this play overturned.
The whole point here was it goal or no goal. It really wasn't about goaltender interference because I think anybody that was watching the game knew that there's no way there was goaltender interference on this. Nonetheless, the referees came back and said it's no goal, and John Tortorella and his Vegas Golden Knights have got to kill a penalty.
I was just surprised, though, that Torts after the game said, I would challenge this 10 times again. And there was no way that they were overturning this because the puck had disappeared. There was chaos in the crease. I mean, frankly, maybe it was one of the Carolina players that may have actually nudged that puck that wound up over the goal line. We're not going to know that. But Torts can challenge that 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times, he's going to lose that challenge. There was just no way that goal was going to be allowed to stand.
That's John Tortorella. Never back down, never say no. And he didn't back down even post-game.
And as you had said, a power play for Carolina, and they entered that chance. 3 out of their last 37. However, Shane Gostisbehere's shot is tipped in by Jordan Staal with 4:35 left. It's 3 goals in 5 minutes and 5 seconds. And I texted you and I said, is this Jim Hiller all over again? You remember last year back to that Kings-Oilers series and that ill-fated challenge wound up flipping that series?
Right, exactly, and saying Jim Hiller because everybody questioned Jim Hiller as the head coach of the Kings after that ill-advised challenge last year. I'm not sure that this year this one was any better advised than Jim Hiller's challenge.
In the end game, it did not wind up costing Vegas. And even though they had a power play with 3:29 left, they failed with that man advantage. However, with the goalie pulled, Mitch Marner's shot is blockered down by Anderson. It hits Mark Stone, and then Slavin inadvertently knocks the puck into his own net with 81 seconds left, and we are headed to overtime.
And the Vegas Golden Knights and their fans are saying we are a team of destiny. Nothing can stop us.
Yeah, well, how about a Tomas Hertl hook at 3:17 of overtime? kind of mishandled the puck at his own blue line, had a hook stall, and on that power play, and we talked about how much Carolina was struggling. They scored on the one, and then off Augusta's spare feed, it's Seth Jarvis, who has been struggling to produce. It's a one-timer at 3:56, and the series is tied at a game apiece.
It was a really good hockey game. Both of them have been very good hockey games. Two teams that are really pretty equal in talent in different ways. They don't play the same way. But, boy, if you were to say right now this is going to go 7, I think somebody would say, well, that's kind of obvious, isn't it, the way these two games have gone? 9 goals in the first game, 5-4 victory by Vegas, 7 goals in the second game, 4-3 victory by Carolina. Now we head off to Las Vegas, Nevada, with the series tied at a game apiece, and Game 3 coming 8 o'clock Eastern on Saturday night.
And before we close our show today, the Jack Adams Award for Coach of the Year has been given out. And after being nominated 3 times, third time the charm, for Tampa Bay Lightning bench boss Jon Cooper.
And, of course, Jon Cooper's well-deserved of the award multiple times over, and yet this is his first time getting it, a well-deserved honor. I was thinking that Dan Muse might get it for the magic that he pulled all those rabbits out of his hat this season as a first-year coach, somehow getting the poor old Penguins into the playoffs, but no such luck for him. And then our old friend Lindy Ruff, who went back to the Sabres, got them back into the playoffs after they hadn't been there for 14 straight years, but in the 15th, it was a charm, and Lindy Ruff was able to get them into the playoffs, but he certainly was well-deserving too. But it goes to Jon Cooper, who's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Jon Cooper has to look forward to the Hockey Hall of Fame at some point as soon as he decides to retire from coaching.
This was an extremely close race, with Cooper beating out Ruff by only 3 points and Muse not far behind. But when they presented the award to Cooper, he was surprised with the trophy while at Tampa General Hospital for a ribbon-cutting ceremony on the sCatchforKids Family Lounge. And this is funded with proceeds from his annual charity fishing tournament. So not only is he a great coach, but he is so ingrained in that Tampa community as well.
Absolutely, and he should be. I mean, the job that he's done there, he's the longest tenured coach in the NHL right now with one franchise, and done a spectacular job and continues to do it year after year. And talk about pulling rabbits out of hats. I mean, he's a master at it. No matter how many injuries the Lightning seem to get, he's able to make chicken salad out of chicken soup. And then you've got their general manager, who's also excellent, in Julien Brisebois, who took over for Steve Yzerman some years ago and has done just a great job for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are a class organization from their ownership all the way down through. So good for Jon Cooper.
Our website is NHLWraparound.com. Stanley Cupdate returns Sunday evening, recapping Game 3, the Stanley Cup Final between Carolina and Vegas, and also previewing Game 4, as this series will now shift out west. And coming up, be on the lookout for Montreal Canadiens spring cleaning. That is 30 out of 32 teams that we have covered. So with that, on behalf of Neil, I'm Vic, and thanks for tuning in.